Good morning, class. Today we will be learning about the Digestive. First, we will watch a quick video about the digestive system before we continue with our lesson.
Across the whole planet, humans eat on average between 1 and 2.7 kilograms of food a day. That's over 365 kilograms a year per person, and more than 28,800 kilograms over the course of a lifetime. And every last scrap makes its way through the digestive system. Comprised of 10 organs, covering 9 meters, and containing over 20 specialized cell types, this is one of the most diverse and complicated systems in the human body. Its parts continuously work in unison to fulfill a singular task, transforming the raw materials of your food into the nutrients and energy that keep you alive. Spanning the entire length of your torso, the digestive system has 4 main components. First, there's the gastrointestinal tract, a twisting channel that transports your food and has an internal surface area of between 30 and 40 square meters, enough to cover half a badminton court. Second, there's the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, a trio of organs that break down food using an array of special juices. Third, the body's enzymes, hormones, nerves, and blood all work together to break down food, modulate the digestive process, and deliver its final products. Finally, there's the mesentery, a large stretch of tissue that supports and positions all your digestive organs in the abdomen, enabling them to do their jobs. The digestive process begins before food even hits your tongue. Anticipating a tasty morsel, glands in your mouth start to pump out saliva. We produce about 1.5 liters of this liquid each day. Once inside your mouth, chewing combines with the sloshing saliva to turn food into a moist lump called the bolus. Enzymes present in the saliva break down any starch. Then your food finds itself at the rim of a 25 centimeter long tube called the esophagus, down which it must plunge to reach the stomach. Nerves in the surrounding esophageal tissue sense the bolus's presence and trigger peristalsis, a series of defined muscular contractions. That propels the food into the stomach, where it's left at the mercy of the muscular stomach walls, which pound the bolus, breaking it into chunks. Hormones secreted by cells in the lining trigger the release of acids and enzyme-rich juices from the stomach wall that start to dissolve the food and break down its proteins. These hormones also alert the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder to produce digestive juices and transfer bile, a yellowish-green liquid that digests fat, in preparation for the next stage. After 3 hours inside the stomach, the once shapely bolus is now a frothy liquid called chyme, and it's ready to move into the small intestine. The liver sends bile to the gallbladder, which secretes it into the first portion of the small intestine, called the duodenum. Here, it dissolves the fats floating in the slurry of chyme so they can be easily digested by the pancreatic and intestinal juices that have leached onto the scene. These enzyme-rich juices break the fat molecules down into fatty acids and glycerol for easier absorption into the body. The enzymes also carry out the final deconstruction of proteins into amino acids and carbohydrates into glucose. This happens in the small intestine's lower regions, the jejunum and ileum, which are coated in millions of tiny projections called villi. These create a huge surface area to maximize molecule absorption and transference into the bloodstream. The blood takes them on the final leg of their journey to feed the body's organs and tissues. But it's not over quite yet. Leftover fiber, water, and dead cells sloughed off during digestion make it into the large intestine, also known as the colon. The body drains out most of the remaining fluid through the intestinal wall. What's left is a soft mass called stool. The colon squeezes this byproduct into a pouch called the rectum, where nerves sense it expanding and tell the body when it's time to expel the waste. The byproducts of digestion exit through the anus, and the food's long journey, typically lasting between 30 and 40 hours, is finally complete. TED-Ed is a nonprofit. If you value our work, please consider supporting it on patreon.com/TEDEd.
Okay, now that we have finished the video, what is the digestive system? Vienna.
Food and drink must be changed into smaller molecules of nutrients to be absorbed into the blood and carried to cells throughout the body. Digestion is the process by which food and liquids are broken down into smaller parts so that the body can use them to build and nourish cells and to provide energy.
That is correct, class. Did you hear that all? Yes. Next question. What are the organs associated with the digestive system? Ria.
It is the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, anus. And organs that help with digestion but are not part of the digestive tract includes tongue, glands in the mouth that make saliva, pancreas, liver, and gallbladder.
Okay. Very good. Okay, now we will be discussing the six processes of the digestive system. The first process is the ingestion of food. Second process, secretion of fluids. Yung third, mixing and movement of food and waste. So, parang yung movement. So, next, yung digestion. Next, absorption of nutrients. At yung last, excretion of waste. Did you get that, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, during the first process of digestion, takes place in the mouth as the teeth cut, tear, and grind the food into small enough pieces so that it can fit down the throat. The next process, secretion of fluids, involves the tongue and saliva that helps break down foods. Next, movement of the fluids eaten. It goes down the esophagus, which is a transportation tube from the mouth to the stomach. The digestion takes place in the stomach, which uses chemicals to try to break down the food particles into smaller pieces. The absorption of nutrients takes place in the large intestine. And then the excretion of waste involves the rectum, the anus, and that is all. Okay, now we will have a recap of the digestion processes. Charles, can you tell us about the first process?
The mouth is the beginning of the digestive system, and in fact, digestion starts here before you even take the first bite of a meal. The smell of food triggers the salivary glands in your mouth to secrete saliva, causing your mouth to water. When you actually taste the food, saliva increases.
Okay, good. How about the pharynx and the esophagus? Jezhiel.
Also called the throat. The pharynx is the portion of the digestive tract that receives the food from the mouth. Branching off the pharynx is the esophagus, which carries food to the stomach, and the trachea or windpipe, which carries air to the lungs.
It seems like you're so active about this topic. That's great. What about the stomach and the small intestine? Yes, Beverly.
The stomach is a sac-like organ with a strong muscular wall. In addition to holding food, it serves as the mixer and grinder of food. The stomach secretes acid and powerful enzymes that continue the process of breaking the food down and changing it to the consistency of liquid or paste.
Very good. What about the large intestine? Ria?
The large intestine is a highly specialized organ that is responsible for processing waste so that infection is easily and convenient.
Very good, class. Can anybody tell me what the function of the rectum is? Vienna?
The rectum is an 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. The rectum receives stool from the colon. Lets the person know there is a stool to be evacuated, holds the stool until evacuation happens.
Good. Okay. Jezhiel, can you please tell me the function of an anus?
The anus is the last part of the digestive tract. It consists of muscles that line the pelvis, pelvic floor muscles, and 2 other muscles called anal sphincters. Internal and external. The pelvic floor muscle creates an angle between the rectum and the anus that stops stool from coming out when it is not supposed to. The anal sphincters provide fine control to the stool. Internal sphincters is always tight, except when stool breaking the food down and changing its consistency of liquid or paste.
Okay, good. Now we will move on to the accessory organs of the digestive system. The first accessory is the pancreas. The pancreas is the chief factory for digestive enzymes that are secreted into the duodenum, the first segment of the small intestine. These enzymes break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Next is the liver. The liver has multiple functions, but 2 of its main functions within the digestive system are to make and secrete an important substance called bile and to process the blood coming from the small intestine containing the nutrients just absorbed. The liver purifies this blood of many impurities before traveling to the rest of the body. And lastly, the gallbladder. The gallbladder is a storage sac for excess bile. Bile made in the liver travels to the small intestine via the bile ducts. If the intestine doesn't need it, the bile travels into the gallbladder, where it awaits the signal from the intestines that food is present. Bile serves 2 main purposes. First, it helps absorb fats in the diet, and secondly, it carries waste from the liver that cannot go through the kidneys. And that is how our digestive system works. Do you have any questions? Okay. Please prepare for a quiz next meeting. Goodbye, class.
Good.